What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the unending stream of delicious lull milk from the lull cow that is Joy Reid, quite simply, is an unending supply. It's never ending. So therefore, of course, its value continues to go down. But I certainly do enjoy farming it because Joy Reid is a complete moron. And the fact that this woman probably makes $30 million a year makes me lose a lot of faith in society. Almost as much faith as, pole dancing classes for 4-year-olds. That's a different topic from today, but that's neither here nor there. Joy Reid had the Moms for Liberty co-founder on, and something amazing happened. Now, if you don't know who Joy Reid is, she's the one here who went to the barber and asked to get the Lloyd Christmas haircut from Dumb and Dumber. She is perhaps the dumbest woman on TV, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of dumb people. She might be the dumbest person on TV, not even just dumbest woman. She has the Moms for Liberty co-founder on, and Joy Reid is trying to make a case for a book about adults spending tender time with kids and why it should be allowed in public schools. And we're going to get into that right after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, in current year, everyone basically has to have VPN. It's a extremely versatile and now basically required tool of browsing the modern internet. And that's why I'm happy to be partnered with Private Internet Access and have been for over a year now. It's a VPN I use, it's a VPN I recommend to my friends and family, and I have a massive discount for my viewers. In short, a VPN allows you to change the location that you may be seen as browsing the internet from. This helps you unlock television shows and movies that might not be available in your area. It allows you to browse the internet anonymously. Heck, even right now, we just saw several countries, for example, Google and Meta are now blocking news in Canada. And, well, how are you going to get your news? Well, you could change your location. VPN helps protect your privacy, secure your data, and bypass network blocks. It comes in extremely important all the time. That's why I have it on my computers, laptops, and mobile phones. Private Internet Access is an open source app with no usage logs, unlimited bandwidth, high-speed global server network, dedicated apps, powerful encryption, and 24/7 live support. Unlock the power of the internet and stay censorship-free by using my link in the description below and get yourself... Quote, tell me why content around strap-ons or I don't know, a teacher doing something terrible to a student should be allowed in schools. Most of the language in this interview, I can't even repeat. I try to keep my show family friendly, and I know you all appreciate that. There may be kind of parts of this that I need to be a little more, offer a little more of an explanation. Moms for Liberty co-founder Tiffany Justice appeared in an interview with MSNBC co-host Joy Moron Reid, who pushed Justice to accept that books containing topics such as strap-ons and incest should be allowed in public schools for children. Reid pressed the question of why liberal parents can't have the right to allow their children to read the book All Boys Aren't Blue, which has topics concerning, keeping it in the family, strap-ons, taking someone's back door against their will, and many others that would not be appropriate to many parents of school children. She argued that passages about these topics are taken, quote, out of context in school board meetings. I'm not exactly sure what the context would be that you would talk about this. Now, here's, what I'll say, because I'm such a staunch liberal. I'm not against these books existing, even if they are vile. If parents want to make the decision to read these books to children, that's their choice. If the books exist and the parents want to read this kind of degeneracy to their children, that's between the parent and the child, and I have nothing to say about that. When it is purchased by, with, public funding tax dollars, United States tax dollars or citizen tax dollars, I get to have a say. And I don't exactly care for my tax dollars being used to purchase smut for children to read. Justice explained that the book is about a young man who is taken against his will by a family member when he is a child, and then asked, in what context is a strap-on acceptable in public school? Reid then tested Justice's knowledge about the details of the book by asking her to name the main character's name specifically in the book, to which Justice, guess what, answered correctly. So Joy Reid's comeback to, hey, in what scenario should third graders be reading about this degeneracy and dildos and all this kind of stuff? Her response was, well, did you even read the book? Do you know the name of the main character? Of course, then she knew the name of the main character. When Reid pressed her more, saying Justice was not an expert in the book, Justice replied, I don't need to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate content for public school. Now, again, you want to talk about the context, if we're in the context of a voluntary kind of, education course that you take in high school. Everyone took like that, I think when you're a sophomore or junior, you all take that, health class. If it came up there, maybe you could make the argument for it. But in what is the argument for this? Reid then argued that the story has been given full context, and asked, why is it your right, or a Moms for Liberty activist right, to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of the author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for the instance of parents of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to have access to this book? Why is it your say what they can't? Again, she's this dumb. That's a straw man argument. The reality is, I don't know if Moms for Liberty's point is that this book should be banned outright. I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think that's the point they're making, though. They're making the point that it shouldn't be in the school. If your liberal parent or your parent of an LGBTQ student or whatever, if you want to read them a book about a child getting their beehole blown out by an adult, if you want to read that to your child, that's your own decision. It's very different than having it on the shelves at an elementary school or middle school where every kid in that school is going to know that that book is there. It's going to be a big deal in the school, and they're all going to read it, and they're all going to get groomed. Justice pushed back and said that talked about terrible things, to which Reid pressed back and said each parent has a right to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. Again, this is why Joy Reid, she just strawmans everything because she's an idiot. If the parent wants to buy their child this book, if the parent wants to go to a public library and check this book out and read to their child about another child getting their beehole blown out by a family member, they are welcome to do that. I'm fine with that. It's like, I don't really understand. The argument is that why is it in the public school library where any child can have access to it without parental consent, right? If you go to a library at your school, you can walk up to any book and check it out or read it, all right? I'm not a book burner. I don't think I'm not saying this book shouldn't exist. I'm saying that if you're spending my tax dollars on this book, I have a say, and I don't want you to buy that book with my money and make it available for children. You want to have it in the, private library. You want to have all this kind of stuff. Gay parents, straight parents, liberal parents, whatever the case is, conservative parents. If they want to buy this book for their child and scar them for life, that's their own decision. Nobody's saying that individual parents can't go purchase this book. Megyn Kelly blasts idiot Joy Reid after MSNBC anchor grilled Moms for Liberty co-founder. You see the tweet, this idiot actually wants to know what expertise Tiffany Justice has to object to minors in school reading about strap-ons and family love, and Kelly wrote on her social media account Sunday. The book has been banned by at least 29 school districts nationwide due to its very explicit content. Again, what in what context does this book need to be in the school library? None. Quite simply, the answer is there is no context in which this book needs to be in a child's reading material. None. Other than if you're some sort of groomer or some sort of creep. I'm not saying that the book can't exist. I'm not saying that parents can't buy it for their kids. I'm not saying that parents can't go to the library and check it out for their kids. I'm saying when you're using my tax dollars to buy this smut and put it on, put it in the school library to have access to, anybody can have access to it. I mean, why don't you just put Hustler magazine in there too and say, well, there's educational stuff in here too. Kids got to learn about, learn about it somewhere. I mean, it's I don't know what reality these weirdos live in, but you can see Megyn Kelly, 13,000, calling Joy Reid an idiot is an insult to idiots. She should have just taken the book from Joy and started reading out the most graphic parts on MSNBC. And if they stopped showing it or turned off her microphone or went to commercial, we have the answer. That's the question. That's a good question. Do you think that she could have read the passages from that book on MSNBC? I doubt it. I doubt it. Joy Reid hates Donald Trump but has his hair. It's I mean, I don't even understand these weirdos, but it's time that more people start to say enough is enough, and it looks like that's happening. So the tide does appear to be turning, and I'm absolutely here for it. Gross.